Everybody, I just want to take a moment out. We're in front of the Will County Courthouse in Joliet, Illinois, to talk a little bit about what happened today. We've been in court ever since 9:30 this morning on a motion to suppress evidence on my client here, Joseph De La Rosa. Joseph, tell us what were you charged with first off?
There was a few complaints, but all of them theft, basically.
So
burglary and theft,
possession of stolen merchandise, things of that, which obviously he was innocent of, and he's been fighting his case since. When was your arrest?
January 3rd, 2017.
January 3rd, 2017. How many attorneys have you had, Joseph?
I believe 4.
4 attorneys before what?
Before I found Blake through you.
Exactly.
Blake Stone, everybody.
So what were the attorneys before the attorney that I found you telling me?
Well, my attorney, I'll just call him by his first name, Earl. The state tendered an offer. I guess it was a reasonable offer if I was guilty. And he was basically trying to push me to accept that offer, which I told him repeatedly I wasn't going to do. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate. They try to bully you into these things.
It's almost like a mill, right? Like for lack of a better term, a diploma mill, where in and out.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I've always hated in my long career as a licensed private investigator, is seeing attorneys trying to push innocent clients for a plea bargain when they're innocent. But I ended up sitting there and getting retained and hired by Joseph approximately how long ago would you say?
Few months.
Several months ago.
It's not been too long.
Yeah. So several months ago.
As soon as I hired him, as soon as I hired the guy, immediately I fired my lawyer. Took his advice, because I swear it felt like I was against the state and my lawyer. Took his advice. Met with a couple lawyers. Blake Stone was the main guy. He was pushing for me, and he was on top of it. There was a lot going on, and he was all over it.
And so what ended up happening, folks, just to kind of give you a summary, is the police violated Joseph's Fourth Amendment right, as well as they violated the law on how they collected the evidence, everything like that. We did some investigating. The lawyers did their lawyering. Did not try to push him into a plea bargain when they knew, as well as I did, that he was an innocent individual and the victim, actually, in this case. And what ended up happening is we went to a motion to suppress. I don't know, does anybody have the time or what time it is right now? Anybody?
3:28.
3:28 p.m. We've been in court ever since 9:30. We went through an entire day full of hearing, and the judge ended up deciding that the motion to suppress that our side presented ended up getting granted. So I guess if I'm going to tell anybody anything, if you're a defendant and you're innocent, make sure you have a good attorney and always a great investigator, because when you have those coupled together, 9 out of 10 times you're going to win. So Joseph, it was a pleasure having you as a client. I appreciate you, and I'm glad that you won today.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Mike, who knows what would have happened.
Oh, one thing, if I may, that just popped into my head is throughout this whole proceeding, even as early as today, this morning, before we started, what did the state's attorney say to you? Now this carried a sentence, according to them, of 10 years imprisonment. 14, I'm sorry. 14 years imprisonment. And what did they offer you?
Conditional discharge for the second time, right before the hearing.
And what that means, folks, for those of you that are not around the world of law, is that means that they went from 14 years jail time all the way down to 0 jail time with a conviction on his record. And of course, he didn't take that because, number one, we had a great case, we had good lawyering, we had a great investigative part on my end, and coupled all together, we ended up winning, and he's a free man today because of it. So once again, congratulations.
Thank you. I also just want to point out one thing. The lawyer I had prior to this was paid in full, over $12,000, and it sucks to say, but it's useless. Not even half the cost for my new lawyer, and only a few months later, and this case is over with. And it due partially, greatly, to all the evidence that Michael gathered, so we could present it today at the hearing. So it makes it, it's not cheap, but your record, your freedom, once you lose that or tarnish it.
You can never, I always tell people, you can never put a price on your freedom. It doesn't matter what it costs, and of course it's easy for the lawyers and the private investigators to say that because it's not our money, but put yourselves in his shoes and what he was facing, 14 years, and because of great investigative work on my part and good lawyering and the fact that he was innocent, coupled together, made us succeed today. So it's a success story. I'm very happy for him, and I'm happy that he can go on with his life and not have this monkey on his back, and the scales of justice tipped in our favor today, because that's where they were supposed to be to begin with. Thank you.